for civil unrest and martial law in Baltimore, how Obama planned to use, through the Soros funding, trigger events to cause nationwide race war that would bring in martial law. And then you look at what the Loretta Lynch and others were pushing and the Strong Cities Initiative, it was all right there. That story is so powerful. And again, we are going to get into a big map of dossier culprits. And we've got a big map we're going to put up on screen behind us at the bottom of the hour that our crew has put together, working with some of the other composites that are already online to show how the scam to set up Trump went through the fake dossier, which is now confirmed to have been through the Clintons and their operatives, and then McCain to make it look credible, to the FBI and the threat GPS system. So all of that is coming up in this hour with Mike Norris. But some of the other news that we're going to be getting to that is central to all of this is a hero, Julian Assange, who helped put out really balanced information, especially during the campaign, to show just how evil and corrupt Hillary was, that the FBI was corrupt at that level in that special area the Clintons had set up with the director, with the deputy director, McCabe, and others, to both protect them from their crimes, but also go set up the then candidate Trump and then President Trump. But as we first reported, the moves have been made in court to let Assange no longer be under investigation by U.S. grand juries. And Trump lawyers have argued in court that he is not a criminal, and that we reported last week, and DrudgeReport.com linked to it. Just pointing out that, again, Drudge Report, next week's news today, that he was going to be given a passport, according to our sources. And now Ecuador issues Assange a passport as plan develops to remove him from London safely. And that ties into so much more. Meanwhile, also coming up, by 2040, Islam could be the second largest religion in the United States. That's from CNN. Meanwhile, Swedish city sees 300% increase in shootings in 2017. 90+% is Islamic, so-called immigrant invader crime. Sweden had very low crime before, but if you report on the ethnicity or religion, you get arrested now, if it's a Muslim. Shock memo, Democrats admit they need illegal immigrants to win elections to vote in the list of dead people the Democrats compile and brag on video to Project Veritas and others. They do. That's a new article up on Infowars.com. Also, German study, almost 1 in 3 Muslim students would fight and die for Islam. So that is just some of the news that we've got coming up. Continuing here, O'Keefe exposes Twitter shadow banning. He'll be joining us. How they're blocking opposing views, how they're going to use AI computer systems to do it. So again, ladies and gentlemen, there is so much we're going to be going over here today. We're also going to be getting into the fact that the New York Times is continuing to race bait and attack the president along those lines. And the really big news as well, Trump's new nuke posture draft allows nuclear response to conventional attack and new warheads. That is a big development as well. Oh, and of course, this is even bigger. It's being announced by White House officials that Trump is to end NAFTA soon because it's a one-sided trade deal, and that ending NAFTA would slow down illegal immigrants. And then they got the big studies breaking it down in a Kit Daniels article at Infowars.com. But they're trying to undermine Trump's base, claiming he's going to sell us out on immigration when all he's ever done is get us good deals. Does it mean it'll be 100% of what we want to stabilize the country's sovereignty? No, but right now, Obama and the globalists just have the country wide open. He's got to go in there and change it to stop the bleeding. We'll be back.
Reputation's amazing.
Gentlemen, we're back live now well into the second hour. James O'Keefe of Project Veritas is joining us in the next hour, as well as Sheriff Joe Arpaio running for Senate. Now, many polls have him in the lead. Establishment polls have him in a dead even heat. So talk about rising from the ashes like the Phoenix in the city of Phoenix to the state of Arizona and the country of the United States of America. It's certainly the season of the rising of the Phoenix with populism, nationalism, popular, the New World Order in trouble, the stock market, the economy, jobs coming back. It is crazy. It is an amazing time. Now, My good friend, got to know him really well over the years, knew his dad before I even knew him. Mike Norris is here with us in the studio. He's got a new film we'll talk about in the next segment, The Crossroads of Hunter Wild. Hollywood free, made in Texas, funded in Texas, everything right here in Texas. We're going to talk about that, play the trailer, and so much more coming up. But again, Mike Norris joining us here in studio. So much to get into, so much to talk about. Look how far we've come since your dad 20, 30 years ago would speak out against the New World Order, and, even in WorldNet Daily articles, talk about geoengineering, and, Alex Jones is right, and come on the show some, of course, Chuck Norris, and then, of course, the big films you produced for, Hollywood, but also for cable television, Lifetime, Hallmark, you name it, very successful, but now you've got The Crossroads of Hunter Wild, but just sitting back, we didn't pre-interview, I saw you out there 5 minutes before you came on, the state of the world, I don't think we've turned the tide yet, but man, there was really nobody fighting back except a few folks before. The world has really changed. What period in time do you think we're in right now, Mike Norris?
We're in the greatest time ever. We're making America great again. We've got great people around just speaking the truth everywhere. And I think the elites are going down. And I think this is such an exciting time. And I'm happy to be alive. I'm proud to witness it. I'm making America great again.
What's your dad think of all this?
He loves it. He loves it. He's proud. He loves what President Trump is doing. He's very engaged. I just read another article he put out this morning on WorldNet Daily talking about Little Rocket Man. So I love it. I'm excited. I'm optimistic, at least where we're at for the next 7 years.
Trump, I think, is overperforming from what I thought, because he's not a dictator. He can't, and the media spun that when I said that yesterday, like, oh, it's a good thing. I'm saying, no, all I'm saying is he's not a dictator. He's got to work with Congress. I'm surprised how good a tax deal he got, how much they've controlled the border, the stock market, the jobs. It's crazy.
No, I love it. And I think that thing that happened the other day where he brought the cameras into the negotiation on DACA, I thought was an amazing thing for him to do. I love it. I'm all in. I'm just curious to see where everything goes. Hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, we're showing some of your trailer right now. We're going to get to the film coming up in the next segment, guys. Thanks. Again, Mike Norris is here with us. You're seeing some on screen of the film we're going to talk about later, The Crossroads of Hunter Wild. And we're going to get your headset plugged in, too, so you can hear it the next break. Expanding on that, you've made films about the globalists, the New World Order. You've been speaking about it for decades, fighting it. This is super positive, but they are striking back.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing with this film, Crossroads of Hunter Wild, after we did Amerigeddon, that was such a large film. It took a long time, big budget. What I wanted to do was kind of strip everything down and really get into a story about what would the world look like if civil war actually took place, everybody factioned up, and a spiritual warfare broke out within our country. And
that's already happened.
Yeah, no,
it's starting.
But a lot of it had to do with the way you were talking years ago about the demonic entities of not only Hollywood but the government, everything. Hey, if there's a God, there's a devil. And the devil is after believers all over the country. And we've got to be prepared, and we got to be ready to fight for our faith, for our country, for everything. But that's the thing with Crossroads of Hunter Wild. It deals with the spiritual battle that could take place within us.
And we're going to play the trailer and talk about it next segment. The reason, and I'm glad you raised that, we just got the documents here. And we've got all the public statements by Antifa about rising up, taking over, triggering something for martial law. This is really what they're pushing. So a very, very timely film. When you see them failing, though, on every front, when you see Soros starting to fail, what do you think they're going to do next? They're not going to give up.
Man, Alex, I wish I knew. I really wish I knew what they were going to do. They're not going to give up. I'm a little nervous to see, what the millennials, so to say, I think they're so brainwashed that they will follow anything without any thought to it. So a little curious to see what happens with them, but you know what? We're going to kick their butts everywhere. We're going to beat them, Alex. We are going to win this battle.
Absolutely. And, of course, none of us are going to save the world by ourselves without God's help. But every little thing we do sends ripples out. And if you look at Generation Z is more libertarian, more Christian, more conservative than ever. So I mean, it really is the millennials. A lot of them are great people, but some of them that have been so brainwashed, and then some of the globalist controllers above them that are fighting so hard because they can see the writing on the wall.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, it was interesting. I was speaking with a friend of mine, Richard Berry, and what we did with Hunter Wild was we took it out and we did church screenings all over Texas. And I was coming back and I was just feeling a little, you know, confused. Something was going on with Trump. I don't remember what it was. And I called him. This is a guy I've never met in my life, but we spoke on the phone, and he's in Orange County. Full conservative, loves Trump, but he's got to kind of, you know, keep it under wraps out there. And I was going, you know, what's going on with all this Twitter? You think this is really necessary? And he told me, he goes, you know what? It's got to be. He has got to keep tweeting.
Because he's got to change the subject from their disinfo.
Exactly. Exactly. And it may be a little off, but it's his words. And I love it. So I've come to embrace it. And I look forward to those tweets.
Well, see, that's what it is about conservatives and libertarians and Christians, is we don't want to be arrogant. We don't want to be out in people's face. We don't want to look like we're starting stuff. But the globalists and the left, they have been leading the narrative and bullying us, so we've got to get wild on them.
No, absolutely. We've got to fight back.
Yeah.
We've got to fight back, and it means fighting everywhere. On social media, you know, I've got it all over my Facebook feed, you know, and you can kind of see the shift a little bit where people are now coming out a little more, feeling a little more comfortable going, hey, I support the...
Because they're trying to bully everybody into not supporting the resurgence of the republic, the resurgence of real freedom. Exactly. It's all about being heard and not sitting on the fence. Everybody's got to, and I agree. I think the bullying, they took people's restraint as fear and their kindness for weakness. And now that we're coming off the bench, more people are coming in. I'm seeing it cause a bigger backlash, all this censorship. Did you see where Facebook, Twitter, Google all admit to censoring conservatives, libertarians, Trump? They admit to creating systems with algorithms to just block conservatives even being able to talk to each other, period, about the price of tea.
They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep fighting. And somewhere we're going to meet, and somewhere we are going to win. I know it. I know it. I'm really excited about what's going on. I'm really excited. But you know what? For us, we've just got to keep in it. We got to keep spreading the word. We got to keep supporting.
Because we have, I mean, the Veritas video exactly is all these people at meetings and then out at the bars, in classrooms, how they're going to censor, how they're going to shut us down, how they're going to end our speech, period, while they're denying it publicly.
Yeah.
This is organized crime, in my view.
That's a good point. It is organized crime. It really...
Mike Norris, stay there. We're going to get into the film now. When we come back on the other side, the crossroads of Hunter Wild, now available on DVD at InfoWarsStore.com. So you support what Mike's doing, what we're doing. We're get your headpiece plugged in there and everything else on the other side. But support the broadcast and get a great film to share with your family and others at InfoWarsStore.com, the crossroads of Hunter Wild and Mike Norris.
Yeah, absolutely. It was kind of... I kind of borrowed from the Screw Tape Letters a little bit. It's about a demon trying to take the soul of a man with the faith of a mustard seed. And it's very simple. I just wanted to really just go tell a story.
Well, I gotta say, it all looks excellent, but it looks first rate, the riot scenes and stuff. Wow, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, and you know, I just wanted to create a world of chaos. And I was trying to think, you know, at the time I was writing this, I'm going, man, you know, the election had just happened. There was a lot of chaos and confusion going out. So, you know, I just kind of put our story in that world, you know, where, you know, the two sides came together, and this is what we're left with. So, spiritual battle, spiritual warfare, it's real. And
these are great to show at your church or to buy and give to your library or to show your family, but particularly Christian audiences. But outside of that, excellent new film available at InfoWarsStore.com. And again, as your purchase there supports the new films that you make. And, of course, you've directed major movies, TV shows, and Walker, Texas Ranger. You did a lot of those?
Oh, yeah. A lot of those 10 years. That was a great job.
It's amazing. Wow. So, again, getting back into the film, I've been a Christian my whole life, and I've had a personal relationship, you know, with Christ. But I'm also a worldly person. I'm not perfect, and I don't lie about that. We all have our trials and tribulations. But as I get more immersed in politics and life and the way the world really works and study things and have been out to Hollywood at the highest levels like you've been and have seen behind the scenes, there really are pedophiles, devil worshipers, corruption. There really is a spirit. It really is anti-human. And you were here 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, and you said it's all about to come down. Last time you were here,
yeah,
like a year ago, the pedophilia, the evil, the raping the women, all of it. So you grew up into the cool guys. You know, Steve McQueen taught you how to ride a motorcycle because he was one of your dad's students.
Yep.
People forget how long your dad's been around the phenomenon. Because he looks like he's 50, but, you know, he's been around forever. And so now you just said, I don't want to get into it, but, man, they're devil worshippers, they're pedophiles. Now that so much has come out, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, you know, that's just crazy what's happening with Hollywood right now.
But you broke it here years ago.
Yeah, but little did I know. You know, we were just talking, and that was my view from what I've seen. And sure enough, I mean, the lid's just blown off of Hollywood. You know, I think with everything, with our country, with Hollywood, with everything.
Things are being revealed.
Things are being revealed. And I think it's very important. But with things being revealed, we'll be able to, you know, make new again. I really believe we'll be able to make new again. Look, Hollywood's Hollywood. I don't deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. The film we did, Crossroads of Hunter Wild, Texas crew, Texas cast, everything was Texas.
And again, it doesn't have the $100 million budgets. It doesn't matter. It's the story and the people that are involved. And that's what we're growing here is new independent cinema. And so many new independent Christian films now are dwarfing Hollywood.
Yeah. And you know what? I didn't want to fake anything or pretend anything on this movie. It is what it is. It's a very independent film. We didn't do the big drone shots to make a little budget film look big or anything like that. We're just telling a story about spiritual warfare. I
can't wait to watch it because it just came in today.
And you know what's really cool is this is one of the first movies that my dad watched, then he rewatched, and he says, son, what can I do to help you? I said, hey, if you could just say anything, you know, about the film and we could help us put it out there, that would be great. And sure enough, he did this great video for us saying, hey, this is one of the finest films I've seen.
Do we have that video? Do we load that video in?
You got it. Chuck Norris approved.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play Chuck Norris approved, The Crossroads of Hunter Wild. I should have started the whole interview with that, baby. I've got a list here of some of the videos we're going to be playing. Go ahead and roll that.
Oh, my special little demon. You've managed a little fear and chaos, and yet here you sit, alone.
Chaos and fear, or a time.
With Chuck Norris approved and Chuck Norris talking about the film. That's kind of the screw tape letter angle of the demons, which is riveting, figuring out how to manipulate and control humans.
Yeah, it's what they talk about, the things that they use to create chaos. They use political distractions, they use pride, they use all these things that infiltrates the believer or just the Americans that kind of sends them off kilter a little bit. So, yeah, it's...
Well, this is a film I'm definitely going to show my children, particularly because they love God. I try to talk about God. We try to read from the Bible, but they still just get caught up in the world, and I can tell that's really what they need.
Yeah. No, and, you know, that's what's happening. You know, the kids are just getting inundated with so much information. I just think they're having a hard time processing it. My kids are the same way, even though they've got a pretty good grip on things. But also my daughter Greta is in this movie. She was in Amerigeddon. She was part of the ranch, and she's also in this. She plays a kind of a girl I pick up on the way back to Crossroads. She's great. She's great. We had a fun time.
Well, Mike Norris, an awesome fellow Texan right here, by way of Oklahoma, back to L.A., back to Texas, because, you know, Oklahoma should be part of Texas. So Chuck Norris is a Texan.
Absolutely.
Just North Texas.
If we close our eyes to what's going on the outside, we're going to wake up and the enemy is going to be right here inside of our gate.
Documentary film coming out that's going to be coming to Austin that I also want to get into if you want to, about the Snake River. Who didn't want to talk about that? But look at this. He's joining us next hour. Twitter caught silencing O'Keefe amid censorship expose. With O'Keefe suspension, Twitter confirms authenticity of Project Veritas videos. Well, they have congressional hearings saying they want to censor everybody, and they're doing it, and that they're spying on the president on Twitter with his private messages. I mean, these people, this is a coup. The big tech companies have basically brainwashed a bunch of people they finance in the universities, And then they bring them out and put them in charge of a huge un-American takeover of massive censorship, and they're on video having power trips, Mike Norris.
I'm blown away by this. Thank God for Project Veritas to be uncovering all this stuff. And I'll tell you what, everybody's got to watch what they say no matter where they're at, because somebody's listening. On my iPad, I got tape over everything. I tape on my iPhone. I protect myself. I'm very careful about what I say and when I say it.
Well, I remember 18 years ago having film crews inside my house, and they go, why do you have your webcam covered? Because back then it was just webcams. And I said, it's well known that hackers get into those governments. They just laughed at me. And I said, no, it's been in university studies. And again, but we don't get praised a lot of times for being right decades before. It's actually like we're worse because we were right.
Yeah, and, you know, it was interesting when I was driving up here today. You know, I was thinking back to, what 20, 25 years ago when you first, or 30 years ago when you first got started. And things you're saying, like I was saying, Alex, exciting time, because all this stuff you've talked about for all these years is happening right now. Way ahead of schedule of what you've said. I'm just very excited to see how this all shakes out. It's a little scary. It's exciting. But here we are. You know, we got to deal with it.
Mike Norris is our guest here in studio. I've got so much news to get to here, but you've always got a lot of interesting stuff going on in your life, your perspective, stories that you've heard about, things you've personally witnessed. I'm trying to be positive because there is a lot of positive news out here as well. But if you pull back from it, and you see how we just put up with all the censorship and put up with all the tyranny, what do we do about all this?
Shoot, Alex, I think individually, knowledge is power. I think that's one thing that people really need to understand is knowledge is power. So they need to read. They need to be informed. And I'm really lucky that I've got a really amazing group of men around me that are very knowledgeable. Gary Haven, this is somebody I could go to going, what's going on, Gary? And he'll strip it all down to where I can understand.
And then there's the footage of him with the crew landing on grass runways during a hurricane to help people in Haiti, the first airplane in. And later in the day, somebody dies trying to do what he did. And I'm like, wow, the crews, I mean, the footage we've got is incredible.
Oh, I know. And he was in a standoff, I think, with the United Nations or something. I saw some pictures where, because I called him up. I go, hey, what's going on, Gary? He goes, I'm in a standoff with the UN right now and some cartel people. I'm going, what? Never a boring moment with Gary Haven. Never.
And he doesn't even make a big deal about it.
No. Oh, never. He just got his cigar and he's ready to go. He's an amazing, amazing man. There's two men that have really shaped my thinking, my ideology, and that's Gary and my dad. Those are two men that I look up to so much. But Gary, just so smart, so well-versed in all this stuff. And he's the one that really got me to awaken.
By the way, Gary exudes confidence, but it's not like other men that try to do it. Like your dad, who does it's real confidence.
Yeah, no, Gary doesn't have to put on any shows or anything. He is what he is. And I'll tell you, it's just, here's a guy, so much money, and what is he doing? He's trying to save the world.
And all he does is direct action, food, medicine to people all over the Caribbean, you name it, other places behind the scenes. He directly is delivering, and he knows it's happening.
Absolutely. I mean, he fills up his own airplanes, gets an army of people together, and they head out. They were all in Haiti, Puerto Rico. He's the man. It's so exciting to just kind of go into his orbit and see.
Look at this landing right here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And he's the best pilot. He is the best pilot I've ever seen. There he is. Look at him. There's
earlier I had the best crew ever, but I get mad at myself because I was so excited about this film coming out, and then it just got here like yesterday, and then I wanted to have banners for it and promos, and I kind of just walk in right before the show and like, what clip? This clip? Oh, and it's my fault we have some train wrecks. But that's the fun part about it is it's live radio and live TV day after day, just growing across the country. And again, it's not about giving credit to InfoWars or anybody else. It's about saying we're right. We really know what we're talking about. But now we've got the banners up. This is what a second American Civil War would look like. The Crossroads of Hunter Wild, a Mike Norris film, now available at InfoWarsStore.com. And listen, when you get excited about films, folks, we sell tens of thousands of them. That sounds like a lot of money. It's not when you're trying to pay for a film, trying to produce it. It's because there's new developments on catching major tech giants admitting they are targeting and censoring and even spying on the president. Wait till you hear this. That's water off your dad's ranch.
Yeah, you know, my dad was out on the ranch one day. He saw a snake in the ground. He punched the snake, went down so deep, up popped a thing of water. No, I'm just kidding.
You mean Hillary Clinton came out?
Yeah.
Your dad punched Hillary Clinton in the
right
face?
In the face, and out came the water. No, you know, about in 2015, they were drilling for a well, and they ended up hitting an aquifer on his ranch that was spitting out about 190,000 gallons a day. So they started bottling it. They put a line of 8,000 feet, build a bottling plant. And so they've got C-Force going out. I think it's in 15 states now. It's a great tasting water. It's my dad and Gina's. It's their water. So yeah, it was really funny because when we were doing Crossroads,
I mean, I can drink Chuck Norris water.
Yeah, absolutely. But when we were doing Crossroads of Hunter Wild, we had lunch with them one day, and they're going, yeah, a lot of people are doing these viral videos for us. And I go, shoot, we're filming tomorrow. Let me do one. And so we did this commercial, and they're putting it out here in the next couple weeks on a big national campaign. So it was funny. It was funny. We had a good time doing it. And it's my daughter Greta right there, and
so we're getting a first look right now.
Right, yeah, actually, this is the first time it's ever been seen right here on your show.
The premiere of C-Force water.
Yeah. But it was great. It's a great water. Part of the proceeds go to his Kickstart Foundation,
which is great for kids.
It's great. I had my friend. We're going to talk about this later. Eddie Braun, who jumped the Snake River Canyon. But
and by the way, he's a super. In fact, I know him from out in Hollywood. Yeah. One of the most famous. I mean, you know, one of your best friends, but he's one of the most famous. I mean, talk about this guy. One of the most famous stunt guys out there.
Yeah, Eddie's an amazing, amazing guy. He's been a great friend of mine for a long time. But
I mean, Evel Knievel couldn't do that.
No. And Eddie built a rocket, and to exact specs is what Evil's rocket was, and he jumped the Snake River. Now, Good Morning America, there was going to be a big, huge media thing, and Good Morning America was out there, but that was the day that the French terrorist attack happened, and it took all the media away from
Eagles of Death.
Yeah, and Eddie said, forget it, I'm still going. And what he did was he took all the footage and made an amazing documentary called...
What's incredible is 30, 40 years ago, jumping the Snake River or trying to was like the biggest thing ever. Now it's like, no big deal. You can't do it. And then he does it, though.
Yeah, absolutely. 0 to 400 miles in 2 seconds. 0 to 400 miles an hour.
Did he black out?
No, he did it. And it's an amazing... this movie he did, Stuntman, it's an amazing movie.
I remember I had dinner one time with Eddie Braun and some folks. And they were just talking about stories about guys dying, like jump the car and then it crushes and it, like, you know, they cuts their head off, or just all this insane stories about, wow, these stuntmen are amazing.
Yeah, that happened on Walker. Eddie was driving a car on Walker, jumping a car, and he looked over to the guy next to him. He goes, hey, this may hurt, but it won't kill you. It killed him, unfortunately, up at Joe Pool Lake in Dallas. And they did a big car stunt, and Eddie broke his back. It was brutal.
Maybe he was telling that story, too, so the blood was just gushing out of his nose?
Yeah, that's true.
So that was the story.
That's the story.
Well, then retell it.
Yeah, no, when on Walker, Texas Ranger, we were doing a big stunt, and the car, you know, is jumping over something. I can't remember what it is exactly, but Eddie's driving the car. Charlie Skeen is next to him, and like I said, Eddie...
That was it, Charlie Skeen.
Charlie Skeen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he goes, this is going to hurt, but it won't kill you. And Eddie hit the thing. I think he flew about 150 feet in the air and crashed and looked over, and Charlie was dead. But he had a heart attack or something like that. It wasn't, I don't think it was from the impact.
Sure, that's what it was. The blood was pouring out of his nose.
Yeah.
And there was another guy, though. They told some other stories about somebody else got their head chopped off in another event.
Yeah, that was on another one of my dad's movies, Missing in Action, I think.
Yeah, I'm remembering now. You're sitting there eating swordfish and rice, and you're everybody getting their heads cut off. You're like, I'm really glad I have my radio job.
No kidding. But it's, you know what, it's safe. You know, my brother was a stunt coordinator on Walker.
It's safe until you die.
Yeah, it's safe until you die. But, you know, you just got to be careful. It's a dangerous business. Being a stuntman's dangerous.
Didn't your dad do a lot of his own stunts?
He did, but you know, he got to the point where he's like, well, why am I doing this? I don't have to do this. I got a great double that looks just like me. And so my dad would do the master shots and do the fights. But, you know, if somebody's driving by or something, he's like, you know what, let these stuntmen do it and let them make some money.
Boy, I tell you, it makes you think of that movie intro. You know, I die for a living on TV. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Are the stunt men, and there's stunt women as well, just saying men is now sexist or evil, men existing is bad. Is it as dangerous as it used to be? It seems like with more of the graphics and computers, they've kind of cut back a little bit.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to say it's, you know, I think a lot of it is, I think they're pushing the envelope a lot further also now. Just the way Hollywood is, they're constantly pushing the envelope on action and driving. I mean, that movie Baby Driver and things like that, that's still the car doing the stunts. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. But stuntmen are a very highly trained breed of people that take it very serious. I was here with Eddie was here in Dallas last week doing a Ford commercial, and he's, you know, I forgot how detailed they are on safety. Everything's about safety.
Sure, because it's dangerous what they're doing.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So they've gotten better about it.
Not only dangerous for the stuntman, but also for the crew, all the people around. That's very dangerous as well. So safety's paramount.
But pushing human potential is what it's all about. It's some of the last trailblazers out there. In fact, you were telling me you guys are going to come to town for South by Southwest. Yeah. We'll definitely hang out for that.
We're Eddie Braun's coming down here. He's screening his movie down here in Austin. He's going to have a whole array of crazy people coming with him. But it's going to be a big party. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a good time.
What's cool in Hollywood, though, is everybody likes the Hollywood stars, but in Hollywood, the cool people, it's the stunt people that are the stars.
Oh, absolutely.
Like at a party or an event, that's what everybody wants to talk to.
No, absolutely. You know, and it's been part of our world for forever. My brother, Eric, he's one of the top stunt coordinators in the business. He's doing Hawaii 5-0 right now in Hawaii, and he's amazing.
That's a rough job.
Yeah, spending 9 months a year in Hawaii.
Oh, it's horrible.
Job.
And I was out there on Kauai, those big cliffs.
Oh, yeah.
You know, around on the side where there's no civilization.
Yep.
And the Mali Coast, whatever, like in a rubber boat. I was like, man, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Going into those caves.
Yeah.
You know there's a God seeing that.
Yeah. You know, Kauai, I think the last time I was in Kauai was for Bruce Lee's funeral.
Wow.
Yeah. I was in Maui.
Is he buried in there?
Well, they had a memorial service in Kauai. That's interesting. That just popped back in.
I tell you, if I could live anywhere, it'd be there.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might get a little island fever.
Well, yeah, you can always 5 hours, you're back.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just feel so relaxed and zenned out there. I'm always like this. Go to Hawaii, I'm like, whoa. If something happens, I just get really relaxed.
Well, you know what that is.
The jet lag, the tire, the beer or something. You're something else, man. All right, Mike Norris is here with us in the studio. You got to get back on the road back to North Texas up there where you've got your compound. But I want you to pop in and do an interview for the War Room coming up.
Absolutely.
With Ellen Schroyer.
You know what? I just want to thank you, Alex. I mean,
please.
I'm not sure. No, what for real? I'm not sure if people really understand what you're doing, everything that goes on here. And all these vitamins are the best of the best. I kid you not. Doctors are prescribing this stuff, but you could get them right here. Please get them here.
It's funny what you say, because that's a lot of what we do is they have these clinics where they sell them for $300-400 with like a 7-10 times markup through the doctors, and it's helping people. You can actually make claims about stuff now. A lot of it's been scientifically proven, but then you can like sell it for $50 instead. And it's even better than what doctors are selling.
Yeah, I mean, I just went over, Blake. I got some probiotics, some red. I mean, this is stuff that is cheaper than you're going to get at the doctors. Please get it. Please support InfoWars.
Well, what you're saying is more and more, even medical doctors' offices and stuff, they got a whole vitamin, mineral, compound section of really stuff that helps you. It's just that for some reason, you'll pay for $100 for fish oil at the doctor's office. We're about to come up with the highest quality fish oil. With us, it's $30. Yeah. And it's, big fusion of the very best, been all cleaned out and everything. So thank you so much. It takes a lot of money to fund this operation, but the listeners have come through. And again, it's not that we're even that good. It's that no one's really been challenging them. So it shows you how weak the globalists are. They're having all these hearings and saying, shut us down, and admitting that we're really hurting them. And so Project Veritas, James O'Keefe is coming up to discuss his latest inside video that we're going to be showing you here. And now they've been trying to censor his video itself of what they're up to. So thank you so much, Mike Norris. The new film, The Crossroads of Hunter Wild, available at InfoWarsStore.com. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Great job on the new film.